These are issues in which the evidence from Sunnah is controversial or ambiguous or undefined. So what do normally people should do? Refer to a mujtahid scholar. And if you follow a mujtahid scholar, you are safe. If you make your own decision, then more than likely, because Allah says in the Quran, if you don't, then shaitan will surely mislead you. لَاتَّبَعْتُمُ الشَّيْطَانَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And in any case, there are so many complications in drawing the right conclusion from hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Last week I said, hadith is a matter of teaching and learning and respect, लेकिन अमल की चीज नहीं. अमल की चीज क्या है? Sunnat of the Prophet ﷺ. Sunnat, to explain briefly, is something which the Prophet ﷺ did and was taken up by Sahaba as well. सबसे बड़ी बात यह कि सुन्नत कौन सा अमल है हजूर का? हजूर ने किया और फिर सहाबा ने भी किया. Otherwise, if the Prophet ﷺ did it, then it's probably it was specific to the Prophet. ये काम हजूर ने किया सिर्फ, लेकिन सहाबा ने वो नहीं किया, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हजूर के लिए मखसूस था. Masalan, the Prophet had how many wives? 11 wives. So can you say sunnat to have 11 wives? No. भी हजूर की तो 11 थी. Can you say sunnat to have 11 wives? क्या ख्याल है? But the Prophet had 11 wives. Why? Specific to the Prophet. ये हुक्म, इजाजत हजूर के लिए मखसूस थी. In the beginning of Islam, Muslims used to drink as well. Allah says in the Quran, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ. People ask you about drinking. Tell them there is a great harm, but some good as well. وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ. इसमें लोगों के लिए फायदा भी है. तो जब कुरान कहता है कि शराब में फायदा भी है, तो कोई आदमी कहे ये तो मौलवियों का दिमाग खराब है, वैसे ही शराब हराम. कुरान कहता है कि इसमें फायदा है. The Quran is saying this benefit in drinking for you. All these people, they say for nothing the sharab is haram, alcohol is haram. When Allah says in the Quran, so it means it was of original of the first era. It was then abrogated, मनसूख हो चुका था ये अहकाम. बाद में और आयत नाज़िल हुई जिसमें अल्लाह ताला ने शराब को हराम करार दे दिया, जुए को हराम करार दे दिया. So if there is something which appears in the Quran but is not being taken up by Sahaba and by the Ummah, that means either it was special for the Prophet or it has been abrogated, mansukh ho chuka hai. Ordinary people won't have knowledge of that. So for ordinary people, when they see hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ, it depends how you put the hadiths together. For example, there is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ which says, لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بفاتحة الكتاب, कि जो आदमी सूरत फातिहा नहीं पढ़ता उसकी नमाज नहीं. A person who prays salat but doesn't pray the Fatiha, his salat is not valid. This is a Sahih hadith, accepted hadith. Another hadith says, Man kana lahu imamun faqira'atul imami lahu qira'a. When you pray behind the imam, then the recitation of the imam is sufficient for you. So if you pray behind the imam, which means then you don't have to recite. Now there's two different ways you can understand or take these hadiths together. They are both hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ. So because they are both hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ, you have to give consideration to both. ये नहीं कि एक को लो और दूसरे को नहीं जी ये बुखारी में नहीं है तो इसको रद्द कर दो. The Prophet didn't say that after me follow Bukhari. He said follow my sunnah. So it's the fuqaha who will tell you how to understand sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So now if you take la salata liman lam yaqra bi fatihatil kitab, there is no salat of someone who doesn't pray Surat Fatiha as the base hadith, as the most important one. Then what will happen is, when you say man kana lahu imamun faqira'atul imami lahu qira'a, that he who prays behind the imam, the recitation of the imam is sufficient for you. So now those people who regard the hadith of Surat Fatiha to be the more important one, so they will recite Fatiha all the time. And even when they are behind the imam, they will still recite Fatiha, but in other issues they won't recite anything. क्योंकि वो ये कहते हैं कि सूरत फातिहा वाली हदीस ज्यादा जरूरी है या ज्यादा जरूरी है, तो वो जब भी नमाज पढ़ेंगे तो वो सूरत फातिहा जरूर पढ़ेंगे, भले इमाम के साथ हों या अकेले हों। तो so people do. Now, if people regard the other hadith as a special hadith, that whenever you pray behind the imam, the recitation of the imam is sufficient for you. So now what they will say, yes, Surat Fatiha is important. If you don't pray with Surat Fatiha, your salat is not valid. But because you are praying with the imam and the imam is reciting Surat Fatiha as well, so his recitation will be sufficient, so you don't have to recite Surah Fatiha now because you are praying behind the Imam. समझ आ रही क्या? So whenever you pray on your own, then if you don't pray, your salat will not be valid. But because now you are praying with the Imam and the Imam is reciting Surah Fatiha, so the Imam's recitation is sufficient, so you don't have to recite Surah Fatiha behind the Imam because he is reciting it. And the Prophet has given assurance, whenever you pray behind the Imam, the recitation of the Imam is sufficient. समझ आ गई? So it depends which way you look at it. If you put Surah Fatiha on top and the other hadith on the bottom, that means whether you pray behind the Imam or on your own, you will always recite Fatiha. But if you bring the other hadith on top, whenever you pray behind the Imam, then you will not recite anything, even Fatiha. But when you pray on your own, then you will have to recite Surah Fatiha. And if you don't, then your salat will not be valid. And Imam Tirmizi rahimahullah has given in his compilation of the hadith, under the hadith of La salata illa bi fatihatil kitab, he said, liman yusalli wahdahu. This is for him who prays on his own or who becomes an imam of the people. जब उन्होंने तखसीस कर दी, and this is exactly in Sahih Muslim as well, there is a narration by Zayd ibn Sabit radiyallahu regarding Zayd ibn Sabit, ما كان يقرأ في شيء, that when Zayd ibn Sabit, and Zayd ibn Sabit radiyallahu ta'ala was such a sahabi, when the Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, there were many Jews, and the Prophet had extensive dealings with the Jews. But the Prophet didn't used to trust them. Whenever there was any matter regarding the Jews, the Prophet wanted to have a dialogue with them, write them letters, or they would receive letters. Because none of the Muslims could speak Hebrew, so he needed to ask a Jew to come and translate, or to speak on the Prophet's behalf. And the Prophet didn't trust the Jews. So he instructed Zayd ibn Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu to learn Hebrew. And as Zayd ibn Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu mastered Hebrew in 17 days. He could read, he could write, he could speak, 17 days. And then later on, after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, and when in the battle of Yamama with Musaylima Kadhab, almost 1100 Sahaba were martyred, many of them Hufaz, Umar radiallahu anhu quickly realized that if it continues this way, the Muslims will lose the whole Quran. And so he came to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and said, Abu Bakr, look, you must compile, bring all the Quran together in one form, in the form of a book. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, well, the Prophet didn't do it, so how can I do it? And as Umar radiallahu kept insisting until Abu Bakr radiallahu realized its importance, and then he sanctioned and appointed Zayd ibn Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu as the Amir to compile the Quran. अब ये इतने ऊंचे दर्जे के साहबी हैं जिनकी जिम्मेदारी निगरानी में कुरान जमा किया गया. So you can imagine, in his supervision the Quran was compiled. And so there is a narration in Muslim, when he would pray behind the Imam, he wouldn't recite in anything. So there are only two things in which recitation takes place, Fatiha and Surah. Fatiha and Surah, दो ही तो चीजें पढ़ी जाती हैं नमाज में. So when it is said he didn't use to pray behind anything, so it's clear he didn't use to pray Fatiha or the Surah. Otherwise it would have said he used to pray Fatiha and not any Surah. But the narration says he didn't use to pray behind the Imam anything. Didn't use to recite anything behind the Imam. So even Sahaba realized that La salata illa bi fatihatil kitab is specific for someone who prays on his own and not with the Imam. But you see, again, the issue, I'll give you one more example. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, whenever someone comes to the masjid, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَسْجِدَ فَلْيَرْكَى رَكَعَتَيْنِ قَبْلَ أَنْ يَجْلِسِ. Whenever anybody comes to the masjid, before you sit down, you should pray 2 rakats.